Hello everyone, and welcome to Integrating Conga Solutions with Skuid. Today we're going to look at how you take your Conga document generation processes and integrate them seamlessly with Skuid custom pages. My name is Ryan Marks. I'm a business analyst with the customer success group here at Conga and also the unofficial and self-proclaimed Skuid expert. We're going to be making a couple of assumptions on this video. The first is that you're a Salesforce and Conga admin. This gives you the ability to make the changes or implementations necessary to set up these solutions. Second one is that you are familiar with Conga Composer and or Conductor solutions. We'll be going over both, so you don't necessarily have to have both, but an awareness of one or the other is helpful. The next is knowledge of the Skuid Composer screen. This will allow you to navigate through the pieces that we need to put in place for these solutions. The last one is the ability to create and edit Skuid pages, again going back to ability to implement these solutions. In this video, we're going to go over three solutions. The first is a Conga Composer button on a detailed Skuid page. Next one's going to be a Composer row action, and this can be either detailed page or tab view of a Skuid page. The last one is a JavaScript snippet that will allow us to run Conductor from a list view. Now that we have the agenda covered, let's go ahead and head over to Salesforce and look at how this is accomplished. The Skuid pages that we will be using for the examples are found from the Skuidify page. So if you go to Skuidify and support, and then down to pre-built Skuid pages, we'll be looking at the Opportunities tab, as well as the Opportunity detail found within the Skuidify page. The first solution we'll look at will be how to add a custom button to your Skuid detail page. This is definitely the easiest of the three, so it's going to be pretty quick. Here we have our opportunity detail view from the classic view. We're going to take this create an email proposal and add it to our Skuid detail page. First step to do, go into the apps, select Skuid. This will bring us over to the Skuid console. From here we'll go to Compose, All Pages, and then find the page that we want to update, in this case, Opportunity Detail. This will open up the Skuid Composer screen, showing us the components, models, resources on the left-hand side, any of the menu options up here, and then our page detail down here. For the custom button, we're going to add it to the page title. So we click on that component. We have the option to add button. With the button added, we'll go ahead and click on it. Then we'll select an action type of custom Salesforce button. And in the custom button or link name, we'll select create an email proposal. The name for the button label is just taken from the button itself, so the way that it's set up through Salesforce settings will transpose over into this as well, so that can't be edited from this point, but if you want to make the change, you can just go into setup, go to buttons, links, and actions on the opportunity or whatever the object is and make the changes there. We can either choose an icon or leave the button as is, but I'll go ahead and choose an icon for this button. Now all the settings are in place, all we need to do is save, and then you can preview from here or go into your opportunity detail page if you want to look at it from that view. We'll go ahead and hit preview. We'll search for an opportunity, link that opportunity, and click go. With the detail page loaded, we can see our same page layout with this extra button and our icon. I'll go ahead and click and we can see the behavior of the button. The custom button is going to go ahead and load the Composer screen in a new tab. So once this is opened, we can preview, merge and email the document the same way you would if you were in classic mode. We'll go ahead and merge an email. We'll take a look at the behavior. The Composer solution has generated the document, attached it to the email, and given us our custom data within the email body. Once we click send, it will close the tab and then refresh our Skuid page. If Composer was going to make any updates, whether that is field updates or saving a copy to this record, those would take place after the record is refreshed. So those would be reflected once the process is completed and the tab is closed. Now let's take a look at how we would launch Composer through a row action. So we'll go ahead and close the detail page. We'll go to Compose, All Pages, and then we'll go ahead and open up our Opportunity tab. Within the table object, Skuid has two options for row actions. You have the single row actions, which gives you an icon on a per record basis, or the mass action, which will show the option once the checkboxes are checked on the left-hand side. This is what we'll cover later with Conductor, but for now we'll look at the row actions. For this solution, the first thing we need to do is create a formula field based on the button that we would like to put as the row action. There's two ways of doing this, one of which is manually. You can take the URL that is in setup and make the adjustments over to a formula field by adding quotes and changing the dynamic fields. Or if you are a Composer and Conductor or Workflow customer, you can use the formula builder. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and go to My Apps. We'll go back to the Conga app. We'll take a look at the Workflow formula builder as our starting point. So we'll go to All Tabs, over to Formula Builder. I'll go ahead and use the same solution that we did with the custom button. That way we can keep some consistency. So the master object is going to be Opportunity. The button name is going to be Create an Email Proposal. This selects the URL and translates into the formula field, putting the static text around quotes, adding the plus signs, and changing the fields into the fields that reflect the formula. We'll go ahead and give it a name that will let us find it easily and associate it with that row action. In this case, we can just call it Composer Row Action. We'll click Create Field, and then the field's created. With the field created, we'll have to add a couple of lines to point to Composer, the session, and the server. So we'll go into Setup, we'll go to Customize, Opportunities, Fields, and our Composer Row Action field. We'll hit Edit. We'll click before the first line, give ourselves a space, and then we'll paste in the lines that we need to reflect the button URL. In this case, it's the endpoint, so you have your Conga composer.congamerge.com, then you have your session ID, your server parameter, and the server ID. We surrounded the static text with quotes and then switched the fields from the curly brace fields to the fields that show in the Insert Field dropdown here. We'll go ahead and hit Save, and then we'll head back over to the Skuid page. We'll click on the app list, select Skuid, and open up the Opportunity tab. The first step from this point is to add the formula field into the model. So we'll click on the Models menu, we'll go to Opportunities, we'll select Fields, and we'll locate our Composer Row Action field. Click the checkbox, and save it just to be safe. Now we can go down into the Skuid page, scroll down to the table, select the table, and then we'll select Add Features and Add Row Action. In the action properties, we'll select Redirect URL for the action type. Action label would be Create an Email Proposal. You can go ahead and select the same icon we used for the custom button. For the URL, click here to select a field, and we'll select our Composer Row Action formula field. For the open URL in, we'll select blank window, and we'll save it and preview. As you can see, we have the icon added in the table. So you can click any one of these and it will give us the composer for that specific record. We'll go ahead and click the first one. It'll open up Composer in a separate tab just like it did with the custom button, load all of the information, and give us this Composer UI. I'll go ahead and close this tab, head back to the Skuid page. Something to note about the row actions is this is not limited to just the tab pages. So if you have a detail page with related list, you could also make a row action on there. For example, if you have accounts with opportunities, you could select the same Generate an Email Proposal and put it on the related list for the opportunities. The last solution we'll take a look at will be running Conductor from a mass action in the table. So we'll take a look at that. Scroll back down to the table. As I mentioned, there's row actions and the mass actions. As you can see, I have the Generate Proposal mass action already built, but we'll go ahead and walk through the process anyway. As a note, this solution also assumes that you have Conductor add-on within your org. We'll go back to the other tab that we have open, we'll click the plus sign, and we'll go back to build the formula builder. We'll start it the same way we started the other one, opportunities as the object. Create an email proposal. In this case, we'll select the output mode of send via email, and we'll update the name. With everything in place, we'll go ahead and hit create field. Field has been created, we'll click OK. And now as you can see, everything has been translated over. We have a queue mode with send email, and all of the pieces have been updated with the quotes and the field switches. To run Conductor from a list view, we're going to need the JavaScript snippet example from the Conductor object. We'll go to Setup, Create, Objects, Conga Conductor, and then we'll scroll down to Buttons, Links, and Actions. We'll click on the Sample List View button. We'll go ahead and copy this script, and then we'll head back over to the Skuid page. We'll select the JavaScript snippets, and as I mentioned, I have the Conductor List View action already built, but we'll go ahead and create a new one. We'll update the snippet name. We'll keep the resource location as inline snippet, and then we'll click on the editor for the snippet body. We'll take this snippet we copied, paste it over these existing 2 lines. There's a couple updates we'll need to make to the snippet. The first one is adjusting the top line to pull in the IDs from the table based on the Skuid parameters. Next, we'll put a variable that will take these IDs and comma separate. Since we've updated the variable, we'll update it down in the URL as well. We'll make the change to the formula field to reflect the Conga mass action that we created in the formula builder. The last update we'll make will be the session and server parameters along with the Skuid global variables to pass those in from the table view. Go ahead and put those in the URL. With that completed, we can close the window, save our progress, and preview the tab. Once we click the checkboxes, we'll get the option for the mass action menu. From here we can see our Conductor mass action. I'll go ahead and click on that, and we get the Conga Conductor window. As you can see, it selected 3 opportunities, sending via email based on what we selected in the formula builder. I'll go ahead and launch this. We can click OK and it'll close the Conductor window. As I mentioned with the Composer row action, this does not have to be on a tab page. It can be on a detail page that has a table, so you could also launch Conductor from a related list in your detail page view. As you can see, there's a number of ways to use Conga with Skuid. We went over a way to add a custom button to your detail page, how to add a Composer row action, and how to add a Conductor row action. When it comes to integrating these 2 together, the sky's the limit. It's up to you to determine how creative you are and how far you want to go with it. The only thing left is to Skuidify your Conga solutions.